And as expected, it got cold again last night. And today is a much better day because I can actually run my stove and drink coffee. I've just been sitting here needing to get going, but listening to one of the greatest sounds of the Arizona Trail. An almost total lack of wind. So when I was trying to scramble to put together a couple of days of food at Summerhaven when my box was missing half and half, and Zinc let me have these, which they were going to dump in the hiker box. I had a tamale stew one last night. It was okay, but I mean, look at how tiny these are. They don't even say how many calories, but they can't be that much. It actually rained on me for a while last night, late. So I was lying there half awake going, oh, I'm in a wash. This isn't going to be good. But it wasn't raining that hard. It was a really nice camp last night. A little bit of traffic noise. But other than that, didn't have to worry about anybody else coming across me. And just the sort of night I enjoy. This is also my last night alone for a little while. Jen will be driving out to Oracle basically tonight. We'll get to the hotel sometime late tonight, and then tomorrow we set up the car shuttle to Roosevelt Lake and then get back on trail at Oracle. And then after a week hiking together, she goes back to work for another couple of weeks, finishes out her year, and then we'll meet up at the Mississippi. I know I heard the Moppets pass me last night. They couldn't see me because I was buried over in that wash. So it's now the 31st, which means it's been about 2 weeks since I started. And as it happens, 2 weeks since I've had a shower. And trust me, it is really, really time. When I was camping that plug in Summerhaven, I had people coming by to use the bathroom, non-hikers. And I did get a few comments about the stench coming off of me. There has been 1 or 2 opportunities where I could have jumped in the water. I'm generally not the biggest fan of that just because I usually like to keep moving. You know, I'll take slower mornings in camp. But once I'm going, I like to go, and having to strip down and deal with any tape on my heels coming off because I get wet. So Oracle is limited as far as lodging. There's only a couple of places, that Airbnb that Jen originally booked me, which was just going to be a room in somebody's house. 1 apartment Airbnb, and then this Robles hotel place, which has camping and rooms. I'm getting rooms because if I was going to camp, I'd just come out here. On the initial plan, I'd thought to aim for like Kearney area and then maybe take a 0. But once things solidified and we knew when Jen was going to join me, this seemed like it made the most sense. As much as the AT had a whole hell of a lot of drawbacks for me, I do miss the hiker rates at some of the, Quality Inn style hotels along the way. At one point we went in middle of a heat wave, no camping area, I think it was Pennsylvania or something, through a whole bunch of farmland. And it was gonna be like $150 for a hotel room, which we weren't happy with, but yeah, okay, we don't care. Just get us inside in air conditioning. And then we show up and they're like, oh no, hiker rate. You're not paying that. I think they dropped it down to like $60. At this point, I'm going slow enough where I'm not really feeling the need to 0 anytime soon, barring some sort of injury cropping up. My thinking for the moment is to try and find some additional miles to do somewhere while waiting for the snow to melt, in the hope I can make it through the Grand Canyon area in late May, basically right before going out to do the Mississippi. But I do have to be in Colorado Springs on June 3rd, so I can only wait so long. And this is a record snow year, so if the snow lasts too long, I just may not be able to finish this year. Yes, I can use snowshoes, etc., but that has more challenges than some people would have you believe. If the snow ends up blocking part of the trail, my plan would probably be to come back and just do this whole thing again. I mean, it's only 800 miles. It happens in a time of year when I'm just getting off of WTC, and it's a little bit early for most of the summer planned trails that I have planned out. So I wouldn't mind doing this again. I think the reason why I'm making up this section doesn't appeal to me as much is just because, I worked 20 years in IT where I did not have time to do something big like this, where I could be out here for 5-6 weeks at a time. So I'm very grateful that I do currently have that situation. And I want to have, you know, the biggest, baddest adventures possible. And for me, that means long stretches of uninterrupted trail. Not just going, okay, I'm going to go from like here to here, and then I'll come back and do this later. I do have some promising trails out here in Arizona I could do. And Dennis, Trail Angel Extraordinaire, aka the guy that makes those awesome maps at the beginning of every episode, has a whole bunch of things out near him which seem like they're in season. And that does have an appeal because, you know, I've hiked out west when I did the PCTA section, hiked out here, I'll be on the Mississippi CDT. Might as well throw in the East Coast, and I'd have quite the geographic range this year. That would, however, require a flight out and back. Looks like I got some other thru hiker out here. Maybe Shrink. Oh, Mammoth is going to be open till August, yeah. So I caught up with Shrink and the Moppets. So had to slow down and talk, of course. Oh, and these guys. I saw them in Summerhaven. So that's Mr. Roboto and his dad, Leo. 5 miles, 5 thru hikers. So this is a good example of why I like dispersed camping. You know, we had 4 separate little pods all in the same vicinity, camped out, and none of us were on top of each other, knew the others were there, etc. And at least with me, there's no way you could tell where I camped if you went there right now. Aha! That would be the 77, and my ticket to my first shower in 2 weeks, and who knows, nachos and beer. Now we play everybody's favorite game, trying to get a hitch on the side of a busy road when it smells like maybe you haven't had a shower in a few weeks. So you've got the sign-in register with the usual people and your average little anti-Semitic thing. So this one's just a couple of miles. If I don't get picked up in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna chance walking. Small shoulder, but I've had too much coffee this morning, just sit around, so see if I get picked up on the way in. Still trying, but no luck so far. Okay, some guy picked me up just as I was at the junction turning to Oracle. So saved me maybe 30-40 minutes. Only restaurants I saw weren't open, so I'm gonna go talk to the people at the hotel. At long last. And yeehaw. I really like this place. Kind of wish I was taking a zero here, but oh well. So one of those small world things. I ended up sitting there waiting for about an hour before deciding, okay, I'm just gonna walk the mile, not bother with the shuttle to get into town. Start walking down the road. Then I hear my name after about, 5 minutes. Turns out Allie, aka Sunshine, somebody who I met 2 years ago in a swamp out in Florida, was down here. She was on trail and then jumped off because of the snow further up north. So I got to visit with her, got a ride down to Mexican food. I now have beer and Skittles, and there's a bathtub and laundry in my future up ahead. The joys of doing laundry in your rain gear. And then, just before 10 p.m., after an 8-hour drive from Southern California, Taters arrived. And after talking over the situation and looking over whatever information we could find up north, we decided there was only one thing to do. So after a frenzied morning drinking coffee and making plans, we took a 2-hour taxi over to Phoenix and started the Grand Enchantment Trail.